Hey, happy Halloween everybody! This is Dilwong here, and it's been 2 months since I haven't been making videos because I was too busy with college, 3D animation class, and my part-time job at my mom's office. Anyway, today I'm going to review Dracula Untold. Now, I've been a fan of Universal Monsters ever since I was a kid. I always watched all those classic monster movies every Halloween on AMC channel long before they decided to make TV shows like Walking Dead and Breaking Bad and turn into classic movies. Monster movies like Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein, The Wolf Man, and Creature of the Black Lagoon are all one of the most classic horror films I've ever saw. After all, I was born on October 1990. I also enjoy the remakes, the homage, as well as the ones that were not part of the Universal Monsters franchise but still made by Universal, like Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, An American Werewolf in London, John Carpenter's The Thing, the 1999 remake of The Mummy, its sequel The Mummy Returns, Van Helsing, and even the third Mummy film, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. For the 2010 remake of The Wolfman starring Benicio del Toro, it was entertaining but not too memorable. So when I first heard that Universal is making another Dracula movie, I was very surprised and curious at that time, because they already made too many Dracula films. However, they decided to make an origin story. Originally, they were going to call it Dracula Year Zero and have that guy who directed The Crow starring the late Brandon Lee, son of legendary martial artist Bruce Lee, Dark City, and I, Robot starring Will Smith, to direct the film. But they decided to scrap that and call it Dracula Untold instead, change the director and hire Luke Evans to play Dracula. So I became very excited for this movie when I saw the trailers and the posters. Now that I saw this movie in IMAX, what do I think of this film? It was good, but not the greatest, and I'm going to tell you why I think this way. Let's start with the story. The story of this film is definitely an untold origin story of Dracula. It took place in the Middle Age of Transylvania, where Vlad the Impaler lived peacefully with his wife, his son, and his people until the Sultan of Turkey wanted all of his boys, including Vlad's son, to become his soldiers. However, Vlad refused, and the Sultan of Turkey and his armies will stop at nothing to take all the boys, or else Vlad and his people will be destroyed. So Vlad decided that he wants more power to defeat the Turkish armies and had no choice but to go to the mountain to meet the master vampire and beg him to give him something he needed to protect his family and his people. The master vampire finally agrees and let Vlad drinks the blood, and that's how he becomes Dracula. In my opinion, the story of this film was meh. Now for the special effects. The special effects in this film were pretty good in my opinion. I do enjoy the landscape of Romania and so many bats flying, but the rest of them are just alright. The makeups I thought was great and the costume designs are awesome. For the action scenes, it was good but not too many. I wish I could see more action scenes. Now let's talk about the acting, directing, and music. Let's start with Vlad the Impaler, Dracula, played by Luke Evans, who was from the 2010 remake of Clash of the Titans as Apollo, Immortals as Zeus, Fast and Furious 6 as the villain Owen Shaw, and the Hobbit trilogy as Bard the Bowman. I think he actually did a great job playing Dracula. His portrayal as Dracula was more of a protector because he wanted to save and protect his family and people from those Turkish armies. It was awesome to see him control the bats just like Imhotep from the first two Mummy movies, control the beetles, the sands, and the waters. Although I think Luke Evans did a great job playing Dracula, but not as amazing as Bela Lugosi, Christopher Lee, Frank Langella, Gary Oldman, and Richard Roxburgh, who plays Dracula in Van Helsing, to me, Gary Oldman's the best Dracula. Then there's the Sultan of Turkey, played by Dominic Cooper, who played Howard Stark, the father of Tony Iron Man in Captain America, the first Avengers. While I think he was a good actor, but he was not that menacing as a villain because only thing he cared about is take all the boys from Vlad and become his army. That's the only thing he cared about. For Vlad's wife, played by Sarah Garden and Vlad's son, played by Art Perkins, was forgettable. The rest of the acting I thought it was okay, but the one I think did a wonderful job was the Master Vampire, played by Charles Dance, who is from The Golden Child, Last Action Hero, Underworld Awakening, and Game of Thrones. His portrayal as the Master Vampire was very dark and dangerous. He was the one who told Vlad to drink his blood and becomes Dracula. Wow, he plays the vampire twice. As for the director Gary Shore, I have nothing to say about him. For the music composed by Ramin Djawadi, who did the music for movies like the first Iron Man movie, to 2010 remake of Clash of the Titans, Pacific Rim, and the TV show Game of Thrones. The music for this film was fun to listen to, but nothing too memorable. Overall, I had a good time watching Dracula Untold. While this film did have its flaws, like not too many action scenes, the story wasn't really that great, the acting wasn't really that great either, with the exception of Luke Evans and Charles Dance. And this film is just 1 hour and 32 minutes. Seriously? I don't know why. I wish this film could have been just 2 hours. That's it. Oh, and the biggest flaw I had with this film is that the evil witch Baba Yaga, played by Samantha Barks, who is from Les Miserables, did not appear in this film at all. Her scenes were cut because the filmmakers believed that she was not part of the story. Oh well, I hope they show her in the extended cut. Well, at least there are some good things in this film. Not as great as The Mummy, The Mummy Returns, Van Helsing, and all the classic Universal Monster movies, but I think it was just a good movie in my opinion. I give this movie a 3 out of 5 nuclear bombs. If you're a fan of Universal Monster movies, you could go ahead and watch it or wait for it on DVD, Blu-ray, or Netflix. While I do think that this film was enjoyable to watch, they say that this is a start on rebooting the entire Universal Monsters franchise. Well, I'm not sure how that would turn out, but we shall wait and see. If that is the case, then long live Universal Monsters!